Welcome to the Glaziar Gambol podcast. We are back with an episode today about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Doctor Doom, or is he? Who knows?
Right.
There's many theories out there on the internet already. This basically, when they announced it, guaranteed people had did this sort of thing, that had this, whether it's a hobby or career, talking about Marvel, just ensured they had content for the next couple, however long needed. We texted each other pretty quickly. We were in the minority, so a lot of people loved this idea, this casting. I think it's kind of coming out like middle of the road now. Some people are happy, some people aren't. You and I were definitely immediately in the boat of I don't get it.
Right. And I think the MCU community as a collective knew RDJ was coming back at some point.
Right.
Like most likely Secret Wars, playing a variant of Iron Man or maybe playing Superior Iron Man or something like that. But I don't think any of us expected this. So keep going.
We talked about this. Robert Downey Jr. can play Doctor Doom, and he could be a good Doctor Doom. But the question is he going to be Victor Von Doom?
Right.
Or is he going to be a version similar to a version in the comics where Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom? I would assume they're leaning more towards that. I don't think he's going to play Victor Von Doom.
I don't either. I hope he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't either.
So.
I'm definitely in the camp of I hope this is a variant of Doom that leads us to the reveal of the actual MCU Doctor Doom.
So you mean like variant of Doom, but like a variant of Tony Stark.
A variant of Tony Stark that leads us to the true Doctor Doom.
So I saw something the other day that, and I don't know how much weight there is to it. But America Chavez, for instance, is somebody who there's no other America Chavez's. You know what I mean? Like, or at least there's no other America Chavez's that can do what this America Chavez does.
Yeah.
And that Galactus in Fantastic Four First Steps, new title, is one of those beings as well. Now, the question I have is, most of the plot is rumored to believe that like the Fantastic Four are going to fail. Galactus is going to essentially eat their planet or their universe or destroy their universe, and they're going to hop over to our universe. Now, where's Victor Von Doom in that world? And so now, like, my thought process is if there's only one Galactus and Galactus can hop universes, is that Victor Von Doom coming with him? And so, like, if we see this Iron Man variant of Doctor Doom that's in Avengers War Doomsday, then what about this Doom that is with this Galactus possibly? I don't know. That's just like my guessing. Because like
my initial question is, how could Galactus there only be one when I have seen a cloud version of him?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Yeah, like you would assume that there's a Doom in multiple. We have to figure out where they go, if he gets destroyed, or does he come with?
Sure.
I still think they're gonna go with that route where it's not going to be the Tony Stark as the Doom. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
And I think that there were also better options for this.
Sure.
So like we said, I think they're going to be able to do a good job. They're going to, as long as this isn't the permanent choice and they are going to reveal like a true Doctor Doom, like a Victor Von Doom,
right.
Unless they move forward with that, like as long as they move forward with that, I think there were better options that they could have done with a Tony Stark variant.
Right.
Like if you wanted to go with the evil Tony Stark, there are something like 30 some different versions of evil Tony Stark in the comics.
Right.
And I think that there were 5 that they could have gone with that would have been better. One of them is a Doom Iron Man. So, like, out of all the options, I guess, out of all the options with the Tony Stark variant, this would have been one of my top 5 choices, just not the choice.
Right.
I definitely think the number 1 choice would have been Superior Iron Man.
Right.
That's the best evil Iron Man. I know most people think the Iron Man who ends up working for Immortus is the best, and they thought that that's where it would have gone because that Iron Man worked for Kang. But now that they're not going with Kang, there's no way that like maybe
Yeah,
that
and
was in the plans.
there's like Beyonder Doom too, and so like they could that could be the ultimate Doom.
Right.
It could be like Beyonder Doom, but
And I just thought like maybe so they're not recasting Kang, but maybe they are recasting Kang, and they could bring in the Iron Man that worked for. Obviously they wouldn't, but like I would have loved a recasting of Kang and then going with that version of Iron Man.
literally the easiest person to recast.
Right. You recast Kang and then you have evil Iron Man that worked for Kang. That would have been totally fine. And obviously Superior. They had the one that was the evil the guy that took place of Doom was evil Emperor Stark.
Okay.
So this is most likely, I feel like that. Like I feel like this Doctor Doom is this Doom version of Tony Stark. I feel like is evil Emperor Stark, because that version of Iron Man wore a green hood and a Doctor Doom mask instead of an Iron Man mask. So I'm imagining this is evil Emperor Stark, which evil Emperor Stark is not in 616, and evil Emperor Stark is one that the Avengers were I think it was the Avengers, maybe it was another group, were seeking out Tony Stark, like a variant of him. They thought he was going to be a good guy, but they ended up finding that Tony Stark who turned on them.
Okay.
I feel like that's where we're going with it, is like a variation of that comic where they're maybe seeking out Tony maybe as an anchor being. Probably not, hopefully not, but like seeking out another Tony, and that's the one they find.
Right. I also wonder like about the 828 universe.
Oh, sure.
I think about the 828 universe and like how there was a extra like an extra seat that wasn't filled.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people thought it was going to be like Balder the Brave, like Thor's brother. But a lot of people also thought like it could have been like Tom Cruise's Iron Man. Like that was an option. So I was like, what if there's a Tony Stark in that universe? And I don't know.
Maybe they left that seat empty so that they could, because they didn't even have what they thought it was, and they were like, we'll figure it out in the future.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other two versions of Tony Stark, though, I think Iron Maniac. I don't know if they would go with that one, but I do think I'd prefer that over Dr. Doom.
Animaniac?
Iron Maniac.
But
the one that I think with the future of where Marvel is going, it's Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Right.
That's who it looks like they're trying to tie in next. Steel Corps.
Right. I think that's going to be they're going to be brought in right at the end before Doomsday or Secret Wars, or either Doomsday is going to bring them all together.
Okay.
I guess that's kind of what I think. I mean, Fantastic Four will happen quicker. Like that's next year. So,
well, there's a version in the comics of I believe it's an X-Men comic. Iron Man is tasked with he's basically on the human side of the humans versus mutant war.
Oh, like the Sentinels and stuff.
And he kills like a whole bunch of mutants, and they start referring to Iron Man as the Steel Corpse because the suit ends up like eating him alive, and becomes fused with his suit.
Sure.
I figured, like, you know, especially if it's a variant and we're gonna get a different set of mutants, you can kill off mutants and still have them be in our universe. Like you could kill a beast and then have a new beast in our actual MCU.
Sure.
Like I think that one would be harder to pull off. but I also would prefer that over the Doctor Doom. But I think
Sure.
my third choice would be Evil Emperor Doom, or Evil Emperor Iron Man,
Stark.
Evil Emperor Stark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going. I think I'm gonna go back through and reread or not reread, but read the comic series with Evil Emperor Stark if I can find it available somewhere.
Sure.
Just to go through, see where they could tend to, like, if there's any attachments you could go with the MCU, or if it would be like a very vague reference. We'll see. But for those of you wondering, you're just looking for like a jump off point to do your own research. Long story short, I think check out Evil Emperor Stark, because I definitely think that's where they're going with it.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't have much. Anything else? Do you have anything else you want to say with
No,
that?
I mean this and the one run, and it would have been prior, like, and I know I talked about this briefly, but it's where Stark just failed to Thanos, and then he turns to magic. He fails versus Thanos, turns to magic. He succeeds in getting a like a suit of armor around the world. So he's got the technology, he's got the magic, he's got his Doom bots, and that's one of the like
And I
evil.
believe that version of Tony Stark also puts spikes on his Iron Man suit.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where people are kind of hoping that kind of thing, I guess.
Yep.
Like,
I could see people wanting it. I didn't think they would do it because it's part of Infinity Saga, but
right, and that's over with. But Doom also disintegrates Thanos too, so I don't know if that's part of it too. Like, I don't know. They could show that run and then still have like a Victor Von Doom. That's my hope, is that this is a Tony Stark variant. You see him do stuff that's really cool and bad, and then yeah, you have Victor Von Doom come in, and it's like, oh, we don't
lays
have
down the real law.
right, and I think we were expecting that with Kang too, and so maybe like we expected all these other Kangs before eventually them revealing the big Kang. You know what I mean? And so maybe they are switching that just to like
similar,
Doom.
but with Doom,
Right?
which part of why I'm hoping for that is because I have selfish people who I want to play Doctor Doom, and RDJ was not one of them, even though I think I can do it.
Right.
I would much rather see Cillian Murphy come out and melt the version of
Right.
like the Stark Doom, and I think if it's a variant of Tony Stark, it's never going to feel powerful enough to beat Victor Von Doom.
Right.
His powers feel like they come from his core, his abilities, his strength, because that powers the suit. And his intellect. Well, Victor Von Doom is so...
He's right up there with Reed. Like, he's right up there with Reed. So
right, Victor Von Doom is so powerful. Like, he can take on the entire Avengers and win.
Right.
I think a variant of Tony Stark will never feel that powerful to me.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Sweet. So, were you happy with RDJ? Were you unhappy with RDJ? Was there somebody else? If you did want somebody else for Doom, let us know who you wanted. Because like I just mentioned, Cillian Murphy was my top choice. I also think Julian McMahon did a good job. So if they reprised his role in some
I do want to see a Council of Reeds at one point too, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how do I when I picture Pedro Pascal opposite RDJ, it doesn't feel quite right, as opposed to Pedro Pascal with a new Doom.
Right.
Yeah, let us know. What's your opinion on that? What do you think? While you're here, check out our other videos, our Deadpool review. We did a review of Madam Web, the Boys new season, and all that. We talked about all that recently, so like, comment, subscribe, check out our other stuff. Check us out on the X Twitter machine, and yeah, let us know anything like that. Otherwise, if you don't feel like it, that is just fine. Move along your way, and you just know you look great today. GG!
GG.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'm tired of my chest.